Attribute number 2, the food likeness of God, part 6. Meditation number 11, the only satisfier of the soul. God is not a source of satisfaction of the appetites of the soul. He is the only source. Nothing else can satisfy, which means whenever we have any sense of satisfaction at all, we have had an experience of this attribute of God. One day, a person can go boating and come to the end of the day with a great deal of satisfaction. Another day, he can go out on the same lake and be utterly unsatisfied. The fact that sometimes our favorite activities or favorite people satisfy, and other times they do not satisfy, shows that the satisfaction is not a function of those things. They are only a means through which God sometimes delivers His satisfying grace, and other times does not. It is idolatry to think of anything or anyone other than God as a source of satisfaction. Only God satisfies the human soul. Psalm 62:1. My soul finds rest in God alone. He alone is my rock and my salvation. Verse 5. Find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from Him. He alone is my rock and salvation. Psalm 27:4. One thing I ask of the Lord. This is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and seek Him in His temple. Psalm 73:25. Whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For behold, those who are far from you will perish. You destroy all who commit adultery against you. But as for me, the nearness of God is my good. And I have made the Lord Yahweh my refuge, that I may tell of all your works. What is wonderful about this attribute? All satisfaction of soul is an experience of the presence of God. If His presence were removed completely, there would be zero joy. That is what hell is. So every time you experience any pleasure that is not forbidden in Scripture, increase your delight in God by saying to your soul, see, this is a sample of what it's like to be in God's presence. The soul is the seat of our appetites. In fact, the Hebrew word for soul is sometimes translated appetite. Your soul is the part of you that has desires. So to love the Lord your God with all your soul means He must be the final object of all your desires. If there were any other source of joy besides God, loving God with all your soul would be impossible because part of your affections would gravitate towards the other sources of joy. When Asaph said, "There's nothing on earth I desire besides you," did he mean he didn't desire a good night's sleep when he was tired or a meal when he was hungry? No. He did desire other things. Just read the rest of Psalm 73. But his desire for all earthly pleasures was ultimately a desire for the presence of God, because he knew that those things bring joy only when God grants an experience of His presence through them. Those things in and of themselves are not the source of any joy. What wonderful news this is. It means something that is better, more beautiful, more satisfying, more thrilling than anything in this world, the source of all joy, is available to us all the time. At any moment of any day, even in the midst of horrible suffering, we can have access to that which is the only source of satisfaction of the soul. Lord, when I move through your creation today, let me see it for what it is. Let me see much of you in the physical emblems you have created. Let me see your power and wisdom and goodness wherever I look. But Father, at the same time, let me also realize, whenever I see any wonderful thing you have created, how utterly incapable that thing is, even at its best, of satisfying my soul. Let me see much of you reflected in those things, but let me see nothing but emptiness in them alone. Father, if I am struck with how beautiful some woman is, or how tasty some food is, or how good some air conditioning feels, or how comfortable some chair is, or how fun some vacation is, or how fulfilling some ministry would be, let my first knee-jerk thought always be, "Oh Lord, how utterly incapable that thing is of satisfying me, and how fully capable your love is of satisfying me. Teach me to prefer you." Lord, let that become a habit, so I say it 100 times a day. Help me train my soul to see much of you reflected, but nothing inherently satisfying in the creation. Think, is there some joy or satisfaction of soul that you have tended to attribute to some earthly pleasure rather than realizing it was from the presence of God? Promise to trust today. Psalm 63:5. My soul will be satisfied as with the richest of foods.